We have some breaking news to discuss as the Toronto Maple Leafs have officially hired Craig Berube as their head coach, and a bit of a shocking move regarding the timing as they announced it right before the long weekend. And quite frankly, every Leafs fan is hyped up right now. So we're going to break all that down in this episode. But before we do, quick reminder, hit the subscribe button if you are a part of the 80% who aren't subscribed and you are happy that Craig Berube is a Toronto Maple Leaf. Hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Everyone is happy. Leafs fans are happy. Darius, we're obviously Leafs fans. We're happy. Everything came together at a bit of a weird time. I thought it was going to be Monday or Tuesday at the earliest, but they decided to drop this before the long weekend if you're in Canada. And this is good because now everything else, the rest of the dominoes can start to fall for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But Darius, let's just get into it. It's official now. We went live about an hour ago, and it was from Frank Saravalli. But the Toronto Maple Leafs have announced it, introducing the 32nd head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Craig Berube. He's ours!
Very, very exciting. It's finally happened. We all knew he was the front runner and probably the best option out there, honestly, based on where the Leafs are so far in their development or whatever you want to call it, in their careers, at least the players and the personnel. It was the best option for the Leafs, Craig Berube. I'm really excited that they got him and finally the dust has settled and we can move forward now. I'm really excited for Tuesday because they're going to announce not announced, sorry, but they're going to have a news conference on Tuesday where Craig Berube is going to speak with, I guess, Brad Treliving, who's going to formally introduce him. And I'm excited to see what Craig Berube says about what he thought about the Leafs in the past, what he wants to do with the Leafs, why he took the job. I'm excited to hear all of that on Tuesday, and it is going to be on Tuesday. So, it's very exciting. This is a guy who is probably the best option on the market. He's going to try and cultivate a culture of accountability, which has been lacking and called into question most recently, but has really been a problem the entire time, the last 8 or so years. So I'm really excited to see what he's able to do with this roster. It starts with this, and like you said, the rest of the dominoes can start to fall after this, and after this news conference on Tuesday. Now we can focus on the players and how they want to build a team that can work with Craig Berube. And obviously there is still the question of who is going to be his assistant coaches. So pretty exciting. I'm glad it's finally come. We could put it behind us in a way after Tuesday.
Yeah, and there's still obviously a lot of news to come, but we knew, and we've been saying it for weeks now, or however long since the Leafs lost, moves were only going to come after the first head coaching position domino fell, and now the immediate look at is who their assistant coach is going to be. We might get some more insight into that Tuesday. Maybe they hire him Monday before the press conference Tuesday, so that way when asked about it, he'll have an understanding of, or the media will have an understanding of what's going on, and Craig Berube, so he can speak on it more accurately. But Darius, it feels like a dream come true a little bit. I didn't think I was going to be this excited about a head coach, but we've obviously discussed it at length on the channel. He's a motivator. Obviously, he's different than Sheldon Keefe. He's similar in some ways, different in other ways. He's going to fire up the team a lot more. And the biggest thing is that the team needed a change of scenery from the head coaching position. Now, whether they trade Mitch Marner is yet to be seen, whether they make big shakeups, hopefully. But Sheldon Keefe now, since 2018, he is who he is at this point. Great with X and O's. Fired him up. There's clips around. You look at the Amazon documentary that you always mention, Darius. Like, there's clips of him firing his team up. But then there's Craig Berube, who's going to always hold the players accountable every single time. The players are going to want to go to war for him. But at the same time, he's going to be a big shift from what the Toronto Maple Leafs players were facing. Luckily, we don't have to handle or deal with all of that. The players do. But the accountability is the thing now. And there's going to be no more lazy Leafs plays any day of the week, especially not on the playoffs or in the playoff run. And different media presence too, which is something that we'll probably be covering throughout the year, obviously, but it's going to be a very different head coach, more on the Mike Babcock side, but all the good things of Mike Babcock and less of the crazy things.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they need in, like I said, in this part of their careers, right? Like Sheldon Keefe was a great X's and O's coach, and that's been thrown around a lot, where Craig Berube is not as good as a X's and O's coach, but that's not what the Leafs need right now.
They have too much talent anyway.
Yeah, like they need somebody to motivate them, get them over the hump and win that Stanley Cup. And this is the guy who probably might be able to do it.
Hope.
Like this is the guy you can hope, right? This is the guy who's going to hopefully, it's going to be no nonsense anymore. He's going to try at least to cultivate, like I said, that culture of accountability and no nonsense and just push through. So I think this is a good hire based on where the team is currently at. And like I said, it's going to be exciting to see what the rest of the dominoes are, because there's been some speculation that Mark Savard could possibly join him on the bench. Mike Van Ryn might stay with the Leafs. Personally, I didn't think the defense was that bad last year, so he may stay with the Leafs because he coached with Craig Berube as well. So that's what we're waiting for now. But all in all, I am excited about Craig Berube. I think a lot of older Leaf fans are excited about Craig Berube. A lot of people haven't talked about it. Well, it's come up more recently. He played for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He understands what it's like to be a Leaf and what that means. So he's not going to, hold that very lightly either. I think he's coming here on a mission for something he wants to accomplish. And I think that's win a Stanley Cup. He did it with St. Louis, who never won a Stanley Cup. Can he break the 56 or 57-year curse of the Toronto Maple Leafs?
And he has the benefit now of being able to watch, whether it was from the opposing perspective of being the St. Louis coach, or now as an analyst for the past few years or a couple of years, however long it's been, seeing what the Maple Leaf shortcomings have been from kind of a third-person perspective while still having his coaching mind. And now this is the first time since the Leafs, obviously we all talk about the Leafs collapse and they can't win more than one playoff round. This is the first time a new coach has come in with this core to actually see what they can do with it. So he's talking about Sheldon Keefe, obviously, how he was the problem, and he probably was to a degree, but this is the first time a new face has come in since the core four has been developed, and especially since they've struggled. So that's a big thing that not many people are mentioning, is that this is like pretty big news here, and you can see here, he is the 32nd head coach. You look at his record. Ooh, it's good. But Keefe has a great regular season record as well. I'm not worried about that. We're worried about the intangible stuff. And this is what David Pinata says. Interested to see who joins the staff in Toronto. There's one former head coach who could jump on, though he has options elsewhere, assuming this is Todd McClellan. And experience is key for Berube's bench. Great fit for the Leafs. Darius, I'm fired up. You see Andy Strickland gets reunited with Mike Van Ryn. Can assume Toronto is making a significant commitment both financially and in years. Country Club days are over. Hope Toronto players are ready. There's a new chief in town. We'll have an animation for you over the next few days about that, but we don't know.
Exciting to hear.
We don't know what the contract is, but it's expensive.
We don't know what we know the number of years. Actually, it just came out. It's a 4-year contract, which is exciting.
Okay, live.
So I'm live right now. It's still coming out as we're recording. So it's a 4-year contract. We don't know the number in terms of
probably get released
salary.
Tonight. Let us know in the comments when you find out.
Yeah. We'll know at some point, but it is a 4-year contract, so that's exciting. I feel like he'll make it that long. 4 years is a good enough amount of time, and if they have to move on after that, that's fine. But I think it's win now anyway. It's next year, it's the year after that, and the year after that. It's the next 3 years. You got the last window, I think, before some of the core guys start getting a little old and you have to start looking to the future again. So it's exciting. It is exciting, and he's locked up for 4 years, and the Leafs are ready to go. Now it's just, what are they going to do with the roster?
And what moves are going to come next is the next big... I mean, there's so many different moves. You have the assistant coaching, you have Mitch Marner, you have all of these things. And I want to end with this one because this is a very exciting... This is the most excited I've been in a while for the Toronto Maple Leafs because they haven't... I guess since their Game 6 win. But from a technical standpoint, like X's and O's, we didn't really change a whole lot. He just came in and made sure that we put in the work and work together. He got everybody to buy into their roles. And quite frankly, the Leafs have too much talent or they have enough talent where they don't have to worry as much about the X and O standpoint. It's not like he's a horrible X and O's coach. A horrible X and O's coach doesn't win that many regular season games with a 59.7 win percentage. He's still perfectly good in that regard. But it's things like this where you just absolutely get fired up for him. And again, press conference Tuesday, probably 2 or 3 videos coming out then. But yeah, Darius, any final thoughts before I wrap up? I'm going to get a Berube jersey, even though they don't make them. I'll get a custom made.
He wore that jersey. He played for the Leafs, so
well,
he might get that one maybe, right? That'd be fun. But yeah, Tuesday. It's going to be a fun day on Tuesday. I'm very excited to hear what he has to say and his vision for the team. That's what's next. And not only his vision for the team in terms of players, what's going to happen with the assistant coaches. And then from there, what's going to happen with the roster. Now everything's going to start moving. So it's going to be really exciting.
Now we go. If you're the Toronto Maple Leafs. But they have to wrap up the video. We have a lot of content coming for you guys. So make sure to hit the subscribe button. We'll see you soon.